Okay, Christina here to listen to some music, and today's music selection is Cemetery Gates by Pantera. So I don't think I know this band at all. The name sort of sounds familiar, but the name of the song does not. And the only little bit of information that I have is that it's an American band that started in the early 80s, and this song came out in 1990. So if you know anything about this band, let me know in the comments because I'm here to learn. But that's not all we're here to learn about. I am a professional classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So we look at all the little details of this music, how it's composed, the different instruments that are used, maybe some instrument demos, and how do we relate to this music? Why do we like it, or why do we not like it? So no more delay. Let's listen. Okay, here we go. All right, little change of pace there. That part we just got into. Okay. Well, I thought this was going to be more of like a ballad, but then it suddenly changed. So, not sure what we're headed into. There were some moments of beauty in there. It was sort of a doubtful, anxious beauty, but beauty nonetheless. There was a lot of play with harmonics and overtones, like especially that last little bit there with the guitar solo. Like the notes were hardly sounding. And for an electric guitar, I'm not completely sure how that's done. I don't know if you manipulate the strings up here or down here or both, or if it's a certain setting. I don't know about that. For a string instrument, you have two ways to do it, and one is with how lightly you press down with your left-hand fingers onto the strings. If you just barely touch the string and then pull a lot of bow with a lot of speed, you'll have a harmonic that speaks if you place your fingers in just the right spot. But sometimes you can play actual notes and then adjust the sound with the bow to give it sort of an airy overtone sound. So I'm not sure what direction that's coming from, but it was a cool effect. I also liked some of the descending chromaticism, like da 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 da, that little descending line right there at the end, and the vocals that came in actually kind of mimicked the sound of the guitar. I didn't quite catch the words, but we'll get there. This does sort of sound like there's a tragedy here. And there was actually like an explosion on the screen. So I'm taking the temperature of this group. Still have a lot more to figure out. So let's back up to where we jumped into this new presence, this new sound, and see where we're going. so it changed again. All right, so it went back into the ballad mode. Was that the same singer the first time, though? It seemed like a very different singer from the vocals in the opening to this. This one was a lot more lyrical, a really nice, smooth vibrato, and I think I do remember that from the opening vocals, so it could have been the same person. So what I am noticing here, and I forgot to mention this in the opening, is that they play a lot with rhythm, not just the time signatures, but time signatures and rhythm. So time signature is how many beats are in a measure, which is basically where you start over counting from one. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, that's one measure. That means you're in 4/4. And yes, the top number and the bottom number, they each mean something different, but you basically want to look at the top number. That'll tell you how many beats are in the measure. So they played with what beats are in the measure, like how many, but then they also played with different rhythms within a steady time signature. So in the opening, I heard possibly a 5/4 in there, or maybe a 4/4 and then a 3/4 or 2/4. It could have been like a 3/8. It was a little, I had trouble catching it from the onset, like from the opening beat. I was like, oh, where's the downbeat? And then they just kept kind of messing with you all the way through, which I like that sometimes. It can kind of be really uncomfortable when you can't quite catch the downbeat of something. And it's almost like they do that on purpose to convey discomfort or angst. But then in this last section, what I was hearing with how they're playing with the rhythm in the measures is the difference between duple and triple. So I heard 1, 2, 3, and 4, and bum, bum, bum. And I also heard 1, 2, triplet, a really broad pattern. And it very evenly went back and forth between the two. So to me, that actually gave me a sense of balance and comfort within this sort of chaos, because there is some angst and chaos here. And just the fact that we're going back and forth from like smooth ballad to more ruggedness, like heavy metal, that in itself represents this conflict between balance and discomfort. And of course, this is all wrapped up around whatever it is they're singing about. It's something sad, I think, and tragic. So we'll get there. I want to keep going and just listen to the music by itself just a little bit more. So we entered into this new section. Let's keep going. Okay, all right. I caught on to some words just there at the end. He was saying something about you're gone and I'm not complete, and that you left me behind. You left me all alone, something like that. So that was one of the first times I was actually able to catch the words because my focus was completely still on the instruments and the rhythms. And those things can represent enough of a story, along with a video. I tend to let that also tell the story a little bit, and then I don't focus on the words. So his diction, the way he pronounces things when he's singing, it's more about the tone and the delivery rather than the clarity of the words. So that's one reason also why I'm not picking up on all of them. I'm trying to let the video do more of the work, probably than I should. And it wasn't completely doing it. I was like, what's the story here? I don't know. But he has a very dedicated method of delivering his words in his singing. And I think I finally just got used to what that was. And so some of the pronunciations were really snapping into place for me. So I have to say, and I don't think there's anything wrong with this, there is a delivery in his words that is similar to James Hetfield in Metallica. So I'm trying to think, which group would have come around first? Didn't Metallica also start in the early 80s? So who has influenced whom here? Well, if you know, put in the comments, because I'd like to get to the bottom of it. And there's nothing wrong with influence. Because to me, it's just a little bit of the gruffness of the voice and then how he ends the words. So, ooh-ah, there's always this ooh-ah kind of sound at the end of some of the words. But then there are other qualities that are very different. So for instance, the vibrato. He has a really wide, gracious sounding vibrato. And he doesn't do as many hey, little quick turns and ornamentations to his notes. It's just more of a straightforward delivery. And when he's singing the slower ballad part, it really is a really beautiful voice. So I actually was shocked the first time it switched over to the heavy metal version of his voice. But it's all good. It's all working. I'm catching on to these two personas, these two sets of feelings that are being represented in this song. Again, there's a lot of sadness, but there's a lot of anger. So you know what? I'm going to check lyrics right now. Reverend, is this a conspiracy? Crucified for no sins, an image beneath me. Lost within my plans for life. It all seems so unreal. I'm a man cut in half in this world, left in my misery. So what has happened to this guy? The Reverend, he turned to me. Okay, and so this is the conversation that was taking place, like in the cemetery. Without a tear in his eyes, nothing new for him to see. I didn't ask him why. I will remember the love our souls had sworn to make. So someone has lost a love. Now I watch the falling rain. Yeah, someone has lost, I think, a love, and the loss that was experienced is not getting a lot of sympathy from the minister there, I guess, graveside. Well, I guess you took my youth and gave it all away, like the birth of a newfound joy. This love would end in rage, and when she died, I couldn't cry. The pride within my soul. You left me incomplete, all alone. That's what I heard, as the memories now unfold. So it was a love. This love would end in rage. So was it a good relationship, or is this referring to the end of the relationship is what is so hard? Believe the word, I will unlock my door and pass the cemetery gates. Okay, namesake for the song. Sometimes when I'm alone, I wonder aloud if you're watching over me. Someplace far abound. I must reverse my life. I can't live in the past, then set my soul free, belong to me at last. This is heavy stuff. Through all those complex years, I thought I was alone. I didn't care to look around and make this world my own. And when she died, I should have cried and spared myself some pain. You left me incomplete. All alone as the memories still remain. So this is a really complicated situation. Which maybe that's the conflict I'm picking up on between the ballad and then the heavier stuff. There's a lot to be sorted out here and possibly healed from. Somebody's really having to deal with a lot here. This is heavy stuff. I think I can see, though, that conflict. So the ballad section of it is really coming from love and possibly some good memories, but then the heavy metal stuff is like really angry, maybe even a bit of denial, just really going through it and having a hard time for lots of reasons, including maybe there were some bad memories. Okay, so now that we have the full picture, let's hear this on out. Okay, well, that is not something I have heard in a heavy metal song like this yet. It was really creative. Okay. I enjoyed the duet that happens over one of the main little chorus sections. The two vocalists, it happened 2 or 3 times, and each time it was very grounding. And the voices had a really great match. It sort of brought in a little bit of the beauty from the ballad section, but kind of was mixing it over the top of the heavy metal section. All right, but then we had the guitar solo. That was awesome. That guitar really wailed. And I actually noticed something about the technique of the guitarist. Let me go back and try to find it. Okay, so watch his left hand. There. So what I am seeing is that his wrist, like he's not hanging on too tightly, that his wrist is sort of bent back a little bit. I need to demonstrate with an instrument. Okay, so to place your hand on the violin, you don't want to have your wrist up like this, where you're just hanging on for dear life here. And if you notice when I do that, do you see how my fingers, they're not gently curved? They're really more like angular, sort of. Do you see that? I'm really having to hang on. where normally it'll be more curved and there's space between the palm of your hand and the side of the instrument. And so you have to sort of curve this way. And so I see a lot of guitarists who are more like this. They're really hanging on. Or they're hanging on this way. And so you see a lot of action like this. But with this guitarist, I am seeing all 4 fingers spread out like that and curved very naturally onto the strings. And because of that, then he can climb all the way up to the stratosphere. This is what we call the stratosphere when you have to play way up here. And so seeing that in his hand motion, I can't help but think that maybe he has some formal training with a string instrument. It could be cello, string bass, violin, viola, whatever, but there's just something there. And it could also be a natural approach. You never know. But it was something that I noticed and I was like, that's interesting. And so he did play some high notes up in the stratosphere at the end, didn't he? Oh, yes, he did. As a violinist, that really resonated with me. We always strive to play those high notes nice and clear. And it takes a long time to get to that point. Violins can be really squeaky for quite a while. So hearing him reach way up there and also almost in conflict, see, there's so much conflict in this song, with the vocalist. Oh my goodness. I think the guitar won though. But I don't know, it's a lot easier for a guitar to play up high than that voice. So I have to give credit to the vocalist. Those were some really high notes. Let's check those out. Okay, let's see what those notes are. Okay, I think it was an E. So E to a C. But let's hear what the next ones are. Yeah. Excellent. And the next one. And the guitar wins. Let's see what that highest note was. That's a C. A really high C. A stratosphere C. And that is going to be sometimes really super squeaky on the violin. So again, you have to just work a lot of years to try to figure out how to get just the right balance to make it really sing. But I don't think singing is the point here. It's more the wailing, the tragedy and the sadness and the anger and the conflict. All the way down. Oh, but let's hear actually, what was the highest note that the vocals got to? We never actually did that one. Wow. I'm impressed with both of them, the vocalist and the guitarist. It's also a really cool guitar. The scroll, that's what it is on a violin, had this really cool shape. It was like a fishtail or something. Really cool instrument. Okay, so I wanted to just point out one other thing, and it had to do with how they play with the rhythms. So I did hear some of those boom, 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 the big triplets, that came in more at the end. Actually, let me just go back and find that. It was a great way to balance out the whole song. And the guitar lines, bum, 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 and then the like it was their little conflict there. So we actually had lots of duets, the vocal duet, that little moment of the bass line and the percussion duet, and then that little fun play with, this competition with the vocalist and the guitar. So cool. All right, so let me go back to one other spot here where I picked up on a really cool thing. And I don't know if they actually were doing that earlier. They might have. But in this moment, they were really leaning on it. And all that's happening is that they are coming in early for the downbeat, which then also throws you off. So the beginning kind of was meant to throw you off with the downbeat, but then they really do it here. Like they're literally throwing the downbeat off of its marker and coming in just ahead, just before. Let's see if I can find that spot. So here's the downbeat. You see that? Yeah. It's just a little ahead. Yeah. It's almost like your heart is skipping a beat. Another great variation in which they decided to convey that angst. Very clever. Okay, that was Pantera with Cemetery Gates. This was really interesting. I had no idea what to expect going in, and I thought maybe there was a chance that I would actually recognize the song, maybe, because if this came out in 1990, this does fall in that little time period where I was listening to some popular music, like from the late 80s to the early 90s. So I know some 80s pop and I know some early 90s grunge, but I did not know this song, and I don't know this group. They put a lot of passion and creativity into the construction of the song, of their music. I immediately felt the discomfort. I immediately could tell there was some kind of conflict. And so I know they're talking about internal conflict, but the fact that they externalized it with one another on stage is pretty cool. So, will it go on my playlist? Yes, it will. At this moment in time, it might not be my everyday go-to, but it does have that distinct heavy metal sound. It's not like early heavy metal. It's like, I don't know, it harkens to maybe even later 90s heavy metal sounds. Almost a little bit like Tool and how they're trying to play with the time signatures and the rhythms and that sort of thing. I didn't hear as much complexity from the percussionist, from the drummer in this group as you would with Tool. But I can appreciate it. And I would go and listen to it. It's a song that has a really cool sound to it. And it's really deep. So I can see how a lot of people really connected with this. I can see young people trying to get in touch with their own feelings and their own experiences and really using this song to help them do that. So yeah, I will be rocking out to this song from time to time. And again, let me know what else from this band I should listen to. So don't forget to do all the things, like and subscribe, become a channel member, join us over on Patreon. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect, just be okay. And keep listening.